Imagine being trapped inside a tunnel that simply refuses to let you out. No matter how hard you fight, how far you run, or how many times you try. That's exactly the nightmare this story throws its characters into. It all begins in a mountainous region of China, where a young woman accepts a ride from a man who seems perfectly polite and harmless. Partway through the journey, she notices something horrifying tucked beneath her seat: a lifeless hand. The gentle looking stranger driving the car is, in truth, a serial killer named James. The moment he realizes she's seen it, he doesn't hesitate. He pulls over and kills her with a sharp weapon. Some days later, a bus full of passengers is traveling down that very same road when a radio announcement warns that the route ahead is closed because of an accident. The driver, Tony, decides to cut through an unpaved back road instead, one that leads straight into a tunnel he's never driven through before. As the bus rolls forward, a lone man suddenly steps into its path, right in the middle of that empty, unfamiliar tunnel. Everyone on board is instantly on edge. What is a man doing out here, all by himself, in the middle of nowhere? But instead of trouble, the stranger simply asked to come aboard as a passenger. Later, one of the riders, Lei, flips open a newspaper and freezes. The man's face is right there, labeled a wanted criminal. But Lei decides to stay quiet. Confronting him could get everyone killed. 20 minutes go by, and the bus is still swallowed inside the tunnel. Tony knows for a fact that even the longest tunnel in the entire country takes no more than 10 minutes to cross, yet this one just keeps stretching on. Eventually, the group agrees to turn the bus around. But even after driving back at full speed for a solid 30 minutes, they never reach the entrance again. It slowly dawns on everyone. This isn't a normal tunnel at all. It's an endless stretch of pitch darkness with no beginning and no end. Terrified, they climb off the bus. That's when Jin, one of the passengers, spots something on the ground. Her own phone, the one she dropped by accident right at the tunnel's entrance. Except they're supposedly nowhere near the entrance anymore. It's undeniable proof now something is deeply wrong with this place. Lei suggests they try walking to find a way out on foot, but the darkness is so thick that anyone could easily wander off and get lost forever. So Jin hands over a ball of yarn. Lei holds one end and starts walking, while another passenger, Wen, keeps hold of the other. The mysterious stranger who'd boarded earlier speaks up, saying he'll go along with Lei too. His name, he tells them, is Jan. After searching for a while, two figures are spotted approaching in the distance. Everyone braces themselves, ready to face whatever's coming, only to realize it's just Lei and Jan circling back. The tunnel had looked completely straight the entire time, and yet somehow they'd ended up right back where they started. Realizing they're stuck for now, Lei hands out whatever food they have left among the group. Then the four men set off once more to search for a way out, while the women and children wait behind on the bus. A little while later, Jin notices something unsettling. In just 30 minutes, a thick layer of dust has already settled over the entire bus. Panicked, she wakes everyone and hurries them outside. Meanwhile, the four searching men once again find themselves back at that same starting point. And Tony discovers, with a growing sense of dread, that their food has already gone completely stale. Time, it seems, moves far faster inside this place than it does in the real world. Back on the bus, they stumble across something odd, a full map of the entire tunnel network, left behind by someone unknown. Lei leans in to study it, but at that exact moment, the lights cut out, and when they come back on, Lei has vanished without a trace. Following a set of strange marks left behind, the group discovers a hollow section of wall. They break through it and step into a bizarre room lined with photographs of people who had gone missing over the years. On the wall hangs a full engineering diagram of the entire structure. According to it, the place is made up of 6 connected tunnels in total. Jian works out that to escape, they'll need to pass through every single one. This very room, the diagram shows, leads directly into the second tunnel. Inside that same room, they also find a strange calendar. Every page shows the exact same date, July 15th. Someone tears it away, revealing a hidden door behind it. Just before they leave, a television screen in the corner flickers to life, showing a woman trapped inside a small, dark cave. They push on into the second tunnel and find their bus waiting there again. Except now, it looks as though it's been abandoned for months. A pack of noodles mysteriously turns up inside, and Tony seizes it at gunpoint. Time is moving so fast here that hunger has turned everyone desperate, almost animalistic. One of the passengers, a model named Sarah, even offers to trade herself for a share of the food. Later, she quietly tries to steal a packet of noodles for herself. Tony catches her and attacks her in anger. But before things go further, someone strikes from the darkness and kills Tony instead, while the rest of the group can only watch, frozen. Not long after, Wen notices a manhole cover hidden beneath the bus. Climbing down through it leads them into yet another strange room. And this time, the television shows the same trapped woman slowly sinking as water rises around her. Once again, they find the same recurring calendar, and behind it, another hidden door. Passing through, they finally reach the third tunnel, darker and more desolate than anything before. The bus is here too, but now it's crawling with snakes, as if it's been left to rot for years. That's when Wen pulls out a gun. He's noticed a pattern. Every time someone dies, a hidden path opens up. So, if it means getting out alive, he's decided he's willing to kill every last one of them. He forces Jin's hand to pull the trigger on Jan's shoulder, then drags 2 children into a side room and beats them mercilessly before shooting another passenger, Fan, dead. He turns on Sarah next, trying to strangle her. But before he can finish, someone lunges out of the shadows and kills him first.
With Wen gone, the group uncovers another hidden passage, this one opening into the 4th tunnel. Around this time, Jin, who is heavily pregnant, suddenly goes into labor, while Lei and Jian search through the bus together. This tunnel seems to prey on the mind itself, and Sarah begins seeing things that aren't really there. Panicking, she flees off the bus, only to find herself surrounded by corpses on every side. She catches her own reflection in a mirror, and the instant she looks into it, someone kills her from behind. Jian, Lei, and the others press on. But along the way, Jin's newborn son dies. Consumed by grief, Jin loses her grip on sanity completely and turns a knife on Jian, killing him too. And this is where the story pulls back the curtain on everything. Remember James, the serial killer from the very beginning? Police had actually caught him. But an accident afterward left him in a coma. He'd kidnapped and murdered several women, but one of them, a young woman named Sarah, was still alive somewhere, and James was the only one who knew where. Since he couldn't be interrogated in his unconscious state, investigators made the decision to send a psychotherapist directly into James's mind to search for her location. That therapist was Jian. And in a devastating twist, Sarah isn't just some stranger to him. She's his own wife. Everything we've witnessed so far seen entirely through Jian's eyes, was happening inside James's mind the whole time. All Jian had managed to learn was that his wife was trapped somewhere near a river. But heavy rainfall meant that within 36 hours, every cave along that riverbank would be completely submerged. The officer overseeing the mission also brings up that recurring date, July 15th, explaining that it's the day James's parents died. His mother had been having an affair with a driver, and when his father found out, she killed her own husband and then took her own life. James himself works as a tunnel engineer in real life, which explains why, once his mind slipped into unconsciousness, it began constructing this deadly, twisting labyrinth. A maze built in the exact image of his own broken psyche. Jian's mission was to navigate through it and help guide James toward waking up. What he never anticipated was just how monstrous and tangled that mind would turn out to be. Every passenger on that bus, it turns out, represented a different piece of James. Lei was the small, fragile glimmer of goodness still buried somewhere inside him. Tony embodied his rage. Wen carried the personality of his abusive father, since just as Wen turned on everyone around him, James's father had once turned violently on his mother, and Sarah mirrored his mother almost perfectly, a model just like her who even within the dream ends up drawn to a driver echoing the real affair. She represented the version of his mother James always wished he'd had, but even inside his own mind, she couldn't undo his darkness and was killed all the same. The two children symbolized nothing less than James's own lost childhood. But there was one presence in that tunnel who was never actually one of the bus passengers at all, the shadowy figure who had been quietly killing Lei, Tony, and Wen from the darkness all along. The next day, Jean goes back into James's mind once more, this time asking directly where Sarah is being held. James doesn't give the answer up easily. He admits coldly that he hates his mother, because it was her betrayal that got his father killed. And that's exactly why he began hunting and killing women of his own. To him, none of them could ever be trusted. James then leads Jian deeper through different corners of his fractured mind, each one playing out a different chapter of his life. Jian tries speaking with the innocent, childlike part of James known as Park, hoping to learn something. But James's sister, Fan, another fragment of his mind, steps in and stops him before he can find out anything more. Eventually, Jian arrives inside what looks like an old cinema, and there he finally comes face to face with the very figure who's been committing the murders in the tunnels all along. It isn't James at all. It's a corrupted, evil version of Jian himself. That's the horrifying truth of it. James's mind is so consumed by darkness that anyone who dares to step into it eventually starts thinking like a killer too. This twisted double confesses he never had any intention of saving Sarah. That's exactly why he'd been killing everyone in the tunnels, one by one, right down to the newborn baby. He then drags the real Jian into a dark, empty space for one final confrontation. A brutal fight erupts between them. Just as the real Jian is on the verge of winning, another evil version of himself appears out of nowhere. Proof that this darkness can never be fully destroyed.